Hey, listeners, this is your host, Lauren Osborne, and welcome back to the Baggage Claim Podcast, the podcast where we unpack some baggage and pick what souvenirs we're taking and what we're checking in. So, per usual, grab your luggage tags, maybe a cocktail, and your shades, and let's get into it. Of course, I have my fantastic co-host, Jazz.
Hello. How are y'all today?
What are we talking about today?
Demanding friendships.
Yes. And I feel like everyone's had a few. Or if you've never.
Are you the demanding friend?
There it is. I didn't want to say it.
Nope, I'm going to say
it. But it's a maybe. And
possibly.
I'm taking this. It's a subject where it's my baggage. It was my baggage for last week.
Yep.
It was unfortunate. I felt like, how did I get here? How did I get here?
And why?
So that's my baggage that I'm really trying to check, right?
Yeah,
and we got to thank you. We got to you've seen some of the screenshots.
Yes.
So
intense.
Let's just talk about friendship in general. Is it a bad friend? I don't know. I mean, some people that were probably ex-friends are not good friends, bad friends, right? I would label this one as a, the thing is,
I mean, they're not, I would say any of my ex-friends are not bad people, but they are bad friends.
Right.
I think it comes down to, do people really know how to be a friend? It's more so like how we get into like bad friend territory. Because if you don't know, then I mean, you're just not.
You're unwilling.
Yeah, you're just not.
And then, or you're unaware.
Or you are aware, and like you said, you're unwilling and you don't care. Like you just cycle through friendships just because.
Oof. That, I don't like that. I feel like when I make friends, I want them to like last. Like that's the point.
I would hope that that's the idea. But I mean, I also get that people are like coming to your life in seasons.
True.
I'm a firm believer in that. And even if, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean just because you end a friendship, it was bad or they were a bad friend or bad person. Your life just took you somewhere else sometimes. That happens too.
I feel like this situation has been a situation I've had before. This I recognized it. I think the previous younger me, pre-therapy me, I think would have placated, I think, a lot longer until I was like, I cannot. But I feel like they all ended. So eventually it happens. So I'll start it from the jump.
Okay.
And I have to do like no names, and I'll change some scenarios. But a girl who was my friend, we met, and we were like, oh, we have these things in common, like geography wise, like oh, we're cut from the same cloth, like we're from the same place, and we bonded quickly, right? We'd like smoke together, right?
Okay, yeah.
So and our proximities were really close, so it was easy, right? And there would be times where I would have to be like, I am a little overwhelmed, like I need you to,
space.
Well, not even, it was even before that. I would be like, conversations with like two people, two different thoughts. And I said, it's really difficult when it's always a one-sided conversation.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I had said that before.
Right.
But I recognize that she has her own baggage, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all do.
And hers is pretty heavy that she's carrying. And I feel for it. I'm like, fuck, rooting for you.
Right.
But we're kicking it. But I also literally met this girl I think the weekend before Easter or the week of Easter.
It's like in April.
Yeah.
How did we get here? Like,
How did
April
we get
this
here?
year?
April of this year.
No, too much.
Okay.
Too much.
I know. And I feel like that's on me too, because I can literally, I can feel like, oh, okay, well, I can still do what I'm doing, and I'll just have like a buddy with me doing it, right?
Okay.
So, you know, I caught like the signs of like toxicity, but it was in how I feel like she had like described her past.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, people grow,
Right,
you know?
Right. Hopefully.
We hope. And so let's just fast forward to we did hang out a lot, but I would like go out. Like I still do. I don't go, I mean, I still try to be home kind of early, but I'm outside, right?
As you should be.
And I feel like I've invited her places, and I feel like the one time that I did invite her somewhere, I feel like one of the times she had like a panic attack. It was like, oh man, I feel bad, you know? And so I was like, okay, I know that in that atmosphere, that's probably not, you, right? But, you know, going like to dinner, that works, right?
Yeah.
So I bet you I got really quiet just then. Sorry, y'all. So in this last few weeks, I travel out of the country. She is awesome enough to dog sit my dogs for me.
Yay.
For compensation.
Well, I mean, is it anything?
Well, I mean, even if it's a friend, I mean, you've met my dogs. I'm going to pay you. You know what I mean? I'm coming through. I'm a realist.
And I feel it because I tipped the lady the last time she babysat my dog because I know.
Right? It's like
it's chaotic.
It could be intense.
Yeah, you're right.
And I feel like pay people, you know, for their services.
You're right. No, you're right.
So, friend or not.
You know your dog.
Tina, love you. Stella. I'm not even going to let her slide, actually. So she's not today. So I get back in town, and also she had like cleaned my house, like super sparkly. And I was like, thank you. Keep in mind as well that she is not able to like work full time. She's always looking for part-time work. Okay. And so she used to also like clean my house.
Oh, okay.
Like every other week. Okay. So I was like, thank you. I mean, I had planned this like dinner for Friday. So I could be like, thank you. I had to like wait till payday, y'all. I just was like traveling for 2 weeks. Right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So, and I also had ended things with that man, right? Or I was on the verge. It was like days, right? I think it was literally like that night.
Around the same time.
Right, around the same time. And as I'm like explaining like why I'm over it. And she was like, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing. But then and at the same time was like, and also, and then I'm not going to say what she said, just in case either are listening.
Okay.
But she insulted his appearance. And I was like, rude. Like, I'm still.
Ma'am. Can't do that.
Right.
It's just, I mean, it don't matter. Like, your opinion on that part, it does not matter.
Right.
It does not matter.
Not only that, but I feel like I know some tea, right? So I was like, okay, well, thanks, I guess. I was like, that really wasn't necessary. Right. And I was like, okay, well, I have to go. Right. Like, she was like, do you want to hang out? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to like kick it at my place. And so then the following day, I was like, oh my God, I have a date on Friday. No. Yeah, it was Friday, last Friday. It was like, oh, I have a date on Friday. And I was like, with another attorney, right? And she was like, ugh, girl, or something like that. And did like a duck face. And I was like, listen, despite your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on lawyers, and her mom, I think, is a paralegal, so she works with a bunch of them.
Interesting.
And I was like, and despite those experiences, I said, I'm still gonna go. I said, I still have a thing for lawyers.
Yeah. You like what you like.
I like what I like. I'm a Libra. Stop playing with me. Scale.
You like what you like.
Right? And then, of course, I couldn't end it with kind because I was still annoyed by what she had said yesterday. So, and I was, I said, I mean, it's better than drug dealers that keep weapons.
That was your comeback or your response back?
That was the second part of my sentence.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
yeah. Okay.
While I had known her at some point, by the way, still let this man in her house who was disrespectful. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it for her.
Yeah.
And I said it at the time, and then she was like, "What are you?" I think that's what I showed you, the text message, and it just went
downhill
left
from there.
Okay,
fast.
I said, "Listen, I'm not talking about your mom. I know you want to bring that in and gaslight me with that, but I said, despite your experiences, I would like to learn and judge on my own."
Right.
And then she kept going. I mean, I think it hit a nerve.
Probably.
And I was like, okay, hey, I get it. I said what I said. You said what you said. Yes. Now we can move on if you want to move on, right? And I hear where you're coming from, and you heard where I'm coming from.
Right.
Right? And I thought, okay, squash. Like it was that like simple, you know? Like even if it wasn't
for
like
you.
Right. Even if it wasn't something that was like, okay, we're going to like kick it immediately. Yeah. I thought that at least in that era or that scene, it was over.
Okay.
Okay. So the following day, she was like, okay, well, what are you doing? Like, let me know if you want to kick it. And I think I know the week before last because we were recording.
Right.
I literally had something going on every single day of the week.
And you had just gotten back.
And I had just gotten back from Spain.
From being gone forever. So you need time to decompress.
Thank you.
When you get back from a trip, I don't care if it was 2 days or whatever. When you've been gone from home and you get back, you literally have your luggage that you have to unpack, and nobody unpacks right away.
Right.
I mean, some people
I'm still doing it,
but it's just like
I wish I was. They're psychopaths, but I wish I was one of those people that could do it.
But I mean, you need time. You need a moment to just literally do absolutely nothing.
Right. Right. So,
yes,
just me time.
I get it. Completely.
So she was like, when do you want to hang out? And I was like, I do want to hang out. I said, if I'm a little distant, just because like that little hiccup kind of threw me for a loop.
Right.
In the middle of my first week back from work after being on holiday, right? Before 10 a.m.
Yeah.
It was a lot for me.
That's a lot.
It was a lot. You know?
It's a lot.
Wow. So the following day, no, it was like later that day, I think she was like, well, I got a puppy if you wanted to know the surprise. And I was like, it told me that she had a surprise. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, congratulations. I'm looking forward to meeting the dog. Yeah, that was it. I was like, everything's good, you know?
Yeah.
Then after that, I get another, and she starts texting me, and I start getting like voice memos and
rage texting.
They are rage texts. It almost felt like Tequila Katie.
No, I was going to say Tequila Katie.
Which we're going to talk about Scandoval as a interlude. Okay. So I am realizing then that this is going from being not a miscommunication. I'll give it that, to something that
it was so minor. So
Right.
even if